Hi, and welcome to Good Deeds Real Estate with a Mission. I'm Diane Davidson from the Fine Homes Group at Keller Williams, and I'm here with Nicole Quinn, who actually officially has joined our group as a team member, so you'll be seeing an upcoming interview. But for today, she's going to be asking me some questions, and we're pretty excited. We've gone over this Realtor.com report that came out a few weeks ago, I guess, or about a week and a half ago, and little old Manchester, New Hampshire, fastest moving market in the country.
You know what? It feels like it.
Yeah, it does, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of interesting stuff in here. Every month, the Realtor.com does research and comes out with what they call sort of the hottest markets. And Manchester, or they call it Manchester Nashua area for the purpose of this particular report that I'm talking about now, has been in the top 10 for the last 10 times in the last 12 months.
Yep.
And it is, so that was kind of old news from a few weeks ago, and this is newer news, that it is the fastest moving market with the average or median days on market 9 days. So they say if you blink, affordability is the common thread running through the top states featured in May's hottest housing market list, says George, I can't pronounce that last name, manager of economic research for Realtor.com. With median home prices below the national mark, these states offer buyers significant value. So the three states were Indiana, New Hampshire, and Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
But within those three states, there were particular cities, and nationally, Manchester was the fastest moving market.
Yes.
So what does that mean for buyers, do you think?
It means that we need to start using some strategy, I would say. So with the market moving as fast as it does, what strategies and tactics do you currently suggest?
Okay, good question. So when we have with buyers, we're getting financing, which most of our buyers are.
Yep.
And I think in the segment of the market that's moving that quickly, they certainly are. So we'd like to get our buyers approved, not just pre-approved. So that means they've gone through the underwriting process. I like to call it add house and stir. Right? Some lenders now even have rate lock, where you can lock a rate, you can lock your rate and shop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that people partner with the lender that they feel comfortable with, but also that offers the sort of the cutting edge programs to put them in the best position possible. So being approved is really, so there's pre-qualified, pre-approved. Some lenders use them interchangeably. Having their credit report run is important,
Yes.
right? And verifying their assets is important.
Yes.
But being approved, not having a commitment, you need a house to have a commitment, but being approved means that you have been through the entire process.
Right.
And so you're just in a stronger position. And honestly, Nicole, sometimes we as the buyers' representatives have to educate the listing agents that who are representing the sellers. So when we do kind of our cover sheet summary email talking about the terms of the offer, that's something that we will make sure that we highlight and make sure that the lender has expressed it properly in the letter, and that has given our buyers a huge advantage.
Absolutely.
Other strategies are very quick inspections. We're not really in the habit of suggesting that buyers waive inspections. We think there are workarounds for that.
Yes.
So, but I think getting approved is one important thing. And then for properties that aren't necessarily moving quickly and they're out there, but where buyers might feel they have less borrowing power because of the rates. Rather than offer, we look at properties and if they're sitting on the market for a long period of time and have had no price adjustment, we often think that's an opportunity for our buyer clients to offer less than the list price.
Yeah.
But rather than offering less, they can ask the seller to pay to buy the rate down. When I started in real estate in 1979, the rates had gone over 10 for the first time, I think, in recorded history, and went all the way up to 17 and 18, and buy-downs were very common.
Yeah.
So you pay typically for 1 point, and 1 point is 8% of the loan amount. So if someone's borrowing $300,000, $3,000 is a point. And for every point that's paid to the lender, the rate is lowered 0.25%. And that's for the 30 years. So that's done, locked in. Well, instead of offering, and for buyers, especially if they're tight on cash, they don't have the money to do that. But a seller who has equity in their piggy bank called a home, right, can have that taken out of their proceeds. So I'll give you an example. If there is a house for $500,000 and someone's putting down 20% and that's what they have, so their mortgage is $400,000. They could, so every point is $4,000. So let's say they ask the seller to pay $20,000. That's 5 points. That lowers the rate 1.25%.
Yes.
That's significant. That's sort of all the buying power they were feeling they had gotten away. They regain. But I think it's critical for the agent and the buyer to probably target homes that have been on the market a while.
Yeah, I would say so, because those sellers need incentive to want to give up that cash. Yeah.
Yep. And probably they're poised for price adjustment. So they're probably kind of ready. A good buyer's agent could call this agent and say, do you think your seller's firm on the price? I mean, there are things that sometimes the listing agent can't say, and other things with the permission of their seller that they can. And if they can, then now then instead of offering buyer making an offer where there was less than the asking price, they can ask for points to be paid so the rate is down.
Yeah.
So that's one little trick that one of the things we counsel our buyers on, and it's worked.
This also sounds like a good talking point to bring up when people assume that with the rates going up, the market's going to come to a screeching halt. There are always some things we can do and some workarounds and ways that we can keep deals together.
Good point. And the other thing is, all of that news we hear, that's sort of that's the news that it's a little more global, or at least a little more national. It's bigger than it's bigger than New Hampshire, and it's certainly bigger than Nashua, and bigger than Manchester, bigger than Concord, and our market's a little bit different. I mean, I was on a call with agents around the country a week and a half ago, and there are areas where 30% of the market of the properties are being bought up by sort of the big investor groups out of Wall Street. So they're competing with a lot of first-time buyers. So they're buying them and renting them out. So every market is different. No town in California made the top 20 in May. Yeah. Wow. So people, it's a lot about affordability. All right. So if I may, I just want to touch on. We skip right over Indiana because it's not so relevant, I don't think, definitely not to us.
Yes.
Although we can refer to agents out there if anybody's looking in Indiana or looking to sell. But then we skip to go to New Hampshire. And so let's see. It's not cheaper housing that's luring home buyers. It's also a cheaper cost of living in general. Low taxes in particular help explain why the New Hampshire towns of Manchester, Concord, and Claremont all made the top 20. Adding to the more affordable cost of housing, living expenses are also lower in these hottest markets. In addition, New Hampshire offers the added benefit of no state income tax or sales tax. So while home prices in New Hampshire's hottest markets might be a bit higher than Indiana, that's not stopping buyers from snapping up properties. The fastest moving market of all remains Manchester, New Hampshire, where homes sold in a blink and you missed 9 days. In short, to buy a new home in a hot market today, buyers will need to act fast. That hasn't changed much in the last few years, has it? But when you talk about the hottest market, buying now means it's probably going to keep appreciating for a while.
Yeah.
So it's still a good time to invest.
Definitely.
All right. I think we covered it.
I think we did.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sitting in.
Thank you for
joining
all
the
that.
team.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Always thank you. We are. And while we're on thank yous, thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on your favorite podcast platform.